with Ryan Smith, head coach of the Spokane Chiefs. Ryan, as we speak right now, training camp season in full swing. You guys are actually starting the preseason here in a matter of hours, really, tomorrow afternoon. But let's just get a sense of what camp has been like down in Spokane for you guys. Just the excitement level, everybody being back in town and back at the rink and getting ready for another season.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been a bit of a long off season for us as a team that unfortunately missed the playoffs. So a little bit of an extension for our guys. So the excitement to get back from the veterans was clear from day one, and the new players and the rookies and the recent draft picks and everybody that was here, invites. We had a really good 4 or 5 days as a group, and yeah, hope and optimism are very high right now, as most teams have.
You get a chance to get a look at some of those guys. One of the byproducts of missing the playoffs is getting a chance to bring some top tier players into your organization, right? And you get a look at Mathis Preston and Brody Gillespie, the U.S. pick as well. What were your first impressions of them in their first camp experience in Spokane?
Yeah, both of them, have shown why they were picked, where they were picked. They're really unique players because they both kind of tick different boxes. Preston is such an elite shooter, scorer, offensive player, that can definitely make guys miss. The goalies, I think, aren't too happy when he has the puck. He's very electric, and we're really happy that he's part of our team. And then you've got Brody, who is, also has a lot of skill, and a little, he's cautious of his own end as well. And he kind of provides the yin to Preston's yang. And going forward with those two, it's pretty exciting times here.
But at the same time, you guys made some moves in the offseason, right? With a bit of a mix and adding some veterans. Connor Roulette, obviously, the name that comes first and foremost, a guy that's got playoff experience in this league, international experience with Canada at the U18 level. But, what has he kind of brought to the group in terms of that veteran savvy?
Yeah, he's been great. Connor, when we moved, got the move and obtained him, he's actually from my hometown in Winnipeg. So we actually got to meet a couple times over the summer, and just getting to know him. I knew him as a player, obviously, when he was in Seattle and we had played against him. And then, in Saskatoon, he had a really good run as well. So I know the player, didn't quite know the person, and the person and the is quite high character. He's a real caring person for the other players around him. He wants everybody to be part of this team. He's jumped in full bore as far as taking leadership role with us. And like you said, he's got 43 playoff games. Our complete team has 33. So I mean, that alone, the experience. He's a 5-year guy. He's been to some NHL camps with Dallas, and he's chomping at the bit. He's a guy that wants another shot at that, and he sees an opportunity here to, have that with some of the players that we can surround him with. And as much as we can help him, he's going to help us as well.
One of those guys, Berkeley Catton, who made headlines over the summer, right, with his work with Canada at the Lenka Gretzky Cup, and comes in as a pretty highly touted prospect as we look maybe a little further down the trail for the NHL draft next year. But for a guy like Berkeley, it just seems like he seized every opportunity that he's earned in Spokane. But having gotten to work with him, Ryan, over the past couple of years, a year and a half now, what makes him tick, and what makes him such a special player?
Well, I think that, for Burke, he just loves the game. He absolutely loves hockey. He's a hockey junkie. He's the first guy on the ice, the last guy off. He, watches hockey, talks hockey, and he's a very hard worker as well. And he's dedicated to getting better. He's got elite skill, vision, all those things. Again, another high character person, and just being around him day in and day out, you can see the growth in him on the ice and off the ice. And we're lucky to have him. And he's bought into what we're doing here. And as a 16-year-old last year, he was our number one center, and that doesn't happen very often at this level. And he took it on and succeeded. And yeah, there was some times that maybe he was a little overwhelmed, but any 16-year-old be like that. But I think it's going to benefit him in the long run. It sure showed well for him over the summer at U18s, and then Helenka Gretzky, and then just the way he's kickstarted training camp here. He's on another level, and we're really excited for the season that he's gonna have with us.
Yeah, in speaking with him, I kind of joked that he's one of the vets now, right? Even at the age of
Yeah.
17, but he really is, and it just seems to be willing to kind of take that on, even amid all of what may lay ahead down the road for him with respect to professional aspirations. Just he seems like the kind of kid that just has the right head on his shoulders as well to be able to kind of handle all that pressure and all that responsibility.
No, I agree with you. I mean, he's got a big year ahead of him, as all the draft eligible players do, and there's going to be eyes on him every night, and he'll handle it. I know he'll handle it great, and um, he is. Yeah, you're right. He's a little bit ahead of his time as far as maturity and the way he deals with that, and um, our we have very little concerns with Berkeley. I mean, he makes players around him better, and that's important. And when you have that, kind of as your, character and your attributes, it's just shows the pro teams. That's who you want to have, is guys that make you better. And I think he'll handle it great, and we'll help him as much as we can. And he's a guy that probably needs a little help in this category.
When you look at your group, Ryan, I mean, Berkeley is a great example. The fact that you ran two 17-year-old goaltenders to finish out the year last year with Cowan and Michael Luck, it really does seem like, the process of getting these younger players ingrained into your system really seems to be kind of what the present era Spokane Chiefs and last year's Spokane Chiefs were kind of all about, right? But when you have these guys maybe kind of playing the kind of minutes, the kind of the situations where they might not play on every team in the league, right? At that point of the season, how much of a benefit is that as you guys move forward now and continue to grow and continue to develop?
Yeah, I think, all the young guys that got the ice time last year, including our goalies, some of our young D, and McIsaac and Weinstein and, Berkeley up front. And these are invaluable minutes that they played. And like I said about Berkeley, there was obviously, with the results we had last year, there was some harder times especially for those young guys. But I mean, when you have two 17-year-old goalies battling as hard as they did and working hard, I mean, they're outstanding, both Cooper and Dawson. Big Willie on D, he's growing into a pretty steady defenseman at 17. I mean, he's only 17, and Sage is only 18. So, the youth in our current roster is exciting. We talked a little bit about the youth coming up, but the current roster has youth, but also, like you mentioned with Berkeley, some experience now. And, now these guys have got a full year under their belt and also played, big minutes, important minutes, tough minutes. And I think that just going to make it much better for all of us, them individually and us as a team this year.
Lastly, for you, Ryan, before I let you go, and when you look at your group right now, I mean, obviously, Catton's the one that's going to kind of grab the headlines when you look at just the makeup of your group. But when you look at the team that you guys have built, with yourself and with Matt and with your staff, what else maybe kind of jumps off the page to you that might not ordinarily jump off the page to a fan in Spokane that should get them excited about this year?
Yeah, I mean, we last year, like I said, we had some ups and downs, and it didn't quite go the way we wanted to. But I believe in what we were doing here, and where we're headed. And I think the fans in Spokane, can expect, and they're the greatest. They supported us all year long, win or lose. I mean, we had a couple sellouts down the stretch, which is amazing, and our front office. And everybody's part of this, from the players to the staff to the hockey ops to the fans. And I think the attitude and the atmosphere around here has been great to start the season. And, we've got some players that have, I think, something to prove. I think they lived it. They weren't happy with the results last year, so there's a little bit of let's show our fans, let's show the league, let's show ourselves that, we have grown and we are better. And, you know, we'll see where the chips fall, but we really like where our group is headed.